Hey guys, so as most of you know, we are building out our home studio, so I am sitting outside right now doing a direct message right off the top of my head. We've got a lot of cool stuff going on. We've got the walls built, the floor is going in tomorrow, we've got lighting, air conditioning, our cameras are getting in there, soundproofing, should be ready to roll in about a week or two. But for this week, we are continuing our partnership with Learn Liberty, which I've loved so far. We've had Professor Randy Barnett from Georgetown University. We've had Steve Davies from the London School of Economics. And this week, we have Joanna Williams from Kent University and the editor of Spiked Online, the education editor of Spiked Online. And we're going to talk about education. We actually shot the interview already, so I can tell you that we did talk about education. Since we don't have our studio, my good buddy Larry King and our friends over at Aura TV lent us their studio for this. And we got to the ins and outs of education. What actually is education? What is a well-rounded education? Should an education come from the government or from a family or something in between or from a community? And we talk about all this stuff, and you know, it's so related. Education in and of itself is so related to everything else that's going on right now, because with all of this political craziness between the election and Trump and tweets and free speech and all of this stuff, it all fits in that if you have a well-rounded education, when people come in with easy answers, well, if you're smart and you've been educated well and you understand history and language and politics and the rest of it, then you can't be swayed that easily. And I think right now what's happening in our country is that we have so many people who are so poorly educated that all they're doing all the time is reacting to nonsense from politicians and from the media and all that. But what we need is a well-educated populace that understands how our electoral college works, that understands how the voting process works, how basic math works. I'm not that good at math, but basic science, all the things that actually affect our lives, that we learn through a well-rounded education. So Joanna and I, we shot the interview a couple days ago, and we had a great discussion on what education actually is and what the role of your family and your friends and your community, how it's part of it, and are there some things that shouldn't be taught in school that should only be taught at home? I think you guys are going to really dig it. And by the way, education and this whole conversation really is so locked in with what's going on here. You know, the big thing at the moment is Trump, this tweet about not burning the flag. Some people are saying he actually was just trolling Hillary and the Democrats because in 2005 she was co-sponsor of a bill that was going to cause fines and possibly criminalize burning the flag. So maybe he is trolling everybody. He's now getting the left to defend free speech and free expression, which I'm really into, right? I like that. I don't know that we should have the troller-in-chief. We should have the commander-in-chief. And even if he is just trolling them to ultimately get the left to be more on board the side of free expression, which would be pretty meta, and that's some 4D chess right there, even so, the idea that he would put out there via tweet or however he wants to do it, the idea of that if you burn the flag you could somehow be a criminal or something like that or be fined, I think that's extremely dangerous. So we're in uncharted territory here. But as I said just 2 weeks ago when I sat out here and I did the video called Don't Freak Out About Trump, there's opportunity, you know what I mean? There is feelings on every side, on the Trump side, on the conservative side, on the liberal side, on the progressive side, the regressive side, the rest of it. On the centrist side, there is a feeling that there's movement here, that all of us are kind of trying to figure out what's going on and figure out how to proceed and who our allies are and who we have to try to bring to our side of the argument. But you know how you bring somebody to the argument? You bring them to the argument with a well-reasoned and educated argument, not just with cries of racism and bigotry and all that stuff. And unfortunately, as it will come to no surprise, all I've seen the left really do since the election is just double down on that. I thought maybe there was going to be an interesting opportunity of reflection. I've seen some articles about it, but I haven't seen that put into practice anywhere. So that's why I think you're going to really enjoy this week, because we talk about education, and it's so indicative of a healthy society has good education. We need better education around here. I think that's what I'm trying to bring to you guys a little bit. And all right, so enjoy the interview with Joanna Williams, and then we're going to be doing some more live streams before the studio built out, and then we got some great guests planned, and I'm psyched about what's going on. Here we go.